Hi lovelies, it's Alexa J and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a collaboration with one of my good friends, Joanna Charlotte. She also has a YouTube channel which I will leave in the description box down below. You should go check her out. I love her dearly. She's super smart, and in our video today we're going to talk a little bit about different transgender topics. I don't want to give away too much, you just got to keep watching to find out. But if you like it, please make sure to like and comment on this video to let me know if you like content like this. I just wanted to do something different. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all of the love and support that I get from you guys, and I love making this content. So thank you so much for watching, and let's get on to today's video. Woo!
There's correction.
Joe.
I mean,
Joe. Hello, I'm here. Do you see me?
Whoa!
Hey, girl. Is that you? Oh, there you are.
How did that happen? Oh,
no,
hey.
I just climbed in your window, girl.
Oh my God! Hey.
How are you? Sorry,
What? I am good. I am good. Despite just breaking up with the girlfriend, but hey, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
How did you summon me? It's like all of a sudden, I was looking at something on my screen, checking one of my textbooks. Next thing you know, you popped up.
I'm in your living room.
I know. It's like now I gotta feed you, I think. So
Good, by the way.
What can I do for you?
Well, so I decided to film for my YouTube channel today, and I decided to film for my lovelies, and I introduced them to you a little bit, and decided let's go see Joanna and film a little video with her today. I thought that maybe we could discuss some trans topics, because you are much older than I am, and we both started transitioning at much different times in our life. And I think that that's really interesting, and I think that we should share that story. So for my lovelies out there, this is Joanna. She goes by Joanna Charlotte. Like I said in the intro, I'll leave her information below. I'm not going to waste too much time on that. But so she is also a woman of trans experience. She is much older than me, but I call her Aunt Joe. We spent a lot of time together, and maybe we could give them a little brief introduction on how we met.
Yeah, I can do that. Well,
we've known each other for, let's see, it was 2000.
Looks like me a little bit, and I'm like 2 years younger than her mom, and she didn't have family in Philly. So I kind of just said, okay. She said I'm practically her aunt, so I'm like, okay, I can be the cool aunt, and so kind of effectively adopted her, and then I adopted her mom, who's now my second big sister. So hey, not bad, gaining family.
That is so true.
So we met in 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Was it, or was it 2016?
I think it's 2017. It seems a lot longer. 2017, definitely. So
yeah, I guess it was, because it would have been in the new year.
We got our legal name change in City Hall in Philly. So we had to go. It was like a February, I think it was. We met with the lady who did the name change for us. She did it pro bono because
Angela Giampolo.
Yeah, Philly gay lawyer. Check her out. She is awesome.
Yeah, if you're looking to get a name change, especially if you're in the LGBTQ, she's a huge advocate for the LGBTQ. She's a part of it herself, so she's really good with helping the community out.
It's probably not going to be pro bono now, but she did that, and it's the reason she did pro bono was she had started to do this late 2016 with the way the election turned out in 2016, and we all kind of didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, it was a really scary time, actually. I remember that.
We survived, but hey, hopefully in a couple more months things will change. But that's how we met. So we kind of hit it off, and for somebody who is, significantly younger, Alexa, you've got it, you've got to put together, and you actually have, you're a normal person, which I can absolutely admire because I mean, I like to think I'm a normal person, definitely. I mean, not
Well, I
conventional,
mean, the
but
thing is
normal.
like trans people, it's like we are just normal people. We just have like different journeys, just like everybody
Yeah,
else,
we
and
do.
people, um, I think, I don't know, like a lot of times I think the problem in the community, and this, I don't know, people might find this a little, I don't know, I'm just gonna say it, like, I think sometimes, people get a little like kind of standoffish towards our community because some people get so like defensive about just like certain things or certain topics, or they try to like I don't know, they just try to push so much, and I think sometimes that kind of like intimidates people, and that kind of pushes them sort of like away, and then I don't know, then they just kind of see us as very like attackful people. I don't know. That's just
Yeah, it's really, I think one of the biggest things that I always tell people is that, on the trans side of things is that we're all different. And
Mhm.
if people think that all trans people are the same, then it's kind of like saying that, well, every, biological male is the same, every biological female is the same. And obviously, that couldn't be more far from the truth. So we're falling the same way. We're all different people. We have
Mhm.
different reasons for transitioning. We do it at different times. We're different people, and I kind of get a feeling that we're going to do a compare and contrast, aren't we? I kind of have this feeling. Wow.
Because I
It's
think it's like people
yeah,
need,
baby.
well, because like I think it's just important for people to understand that, like you said, we come from like different like walks of life and that, and we all have like a different journey, but like I don't know, like us trans people, like we're still people, we're human beings, but we come in many different varieties, just like every other person.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
all want different things. We all have different expectations in our
Yeah.
transition, in ourselves, and what we
Hmm.
want, what we're comfortable with, what we're not comfortable with, and people are still stuck on this like kind of like sexuality thing. Like they still think that we're
Goodness.
just gay men, like dressing up, like I don't know, it's hard because it's like you don't want to like be disrespectful, but like at the same time you want to like stand up for yourself and your community and let people know. But which is
Mhm.
why I like making videos like this, because I think it's important
Well,
to
I do too, actually. I
because
do too.
although we're very similar in things, we're very very different. We come from very very different backgrounds. I mean, like you can even tell just like in our videos. Like I mean, look, like my nails, that like you can tell like purple. Like I'm a girly girl. Like I'm like full
Mm,
on girly girl.
yes, you
Like,
are.
and
Yes, you
you know what I
are.
mean? And you're not. You're more conservative, and I'm definitely not conservative at
I,
all.
hey, I can do the girl stuff. I have, I do
Yeah,
wear
she
makeup.
does. She does. I've been to
You
her
know,
place.
I'd like to think that I have a good fashion sense, but
I
but
think it's
we're
just,
we're different. But we're also,
yeah,
how many years
yeah.
apart are we? I'm 43.
And I'm 26.
Um, so I've been on the earth a long time.
Hmm.
Um,
I think it's just,
Actually, you haven't reached the age altogether of your life that I lived, as a guy. Now we both did start transitioning less than a year apart. It's 5 years for me in September
yeah, and
at the
it's
end of the
going
month.
on 4 years for me. Well, since
Yeah,
I've
you
been
should
on
be approaching 4
HRT
years.
anyway, and like have been like legally dealt with and stuff. Yeah, it's been about
Mm,
4 years for me.
yeah.
Coming out in November.
So it's differences. I don't participate with the community because I am what could be kind of conceived as a black sheep or an outcast, if you will, because I don't, if there's going to be a certain expectation that people have for, anybody who is trans, obviously it's wrong, for starters. And two, and like we've already said, we really are all different.
Mhm.
I have a video, if you guys want to check that out, where I talk about the 5 things that, I can't stand as a trans woman, which was motivated by Alexa.
Yeah, I did a video
Um,
on it.
Alexa was the first one to make that video, so I came up with my list of 5, and I probably agree with most of what she had. And there was one that I actually kind of laughed at and didn't agree with, um, but at the same time, both of us have heard some really idiotic things that people assume. I'll throw a spoiler out there for one of them. When everybody assumes that I am a liberal, and you know, I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. I am actually
Oh,
nobody
this is
else
gonna create some
watching
heat.
here. I'm a conservative, and I didn't vote for the orange guy. No, did not vote for the orange guy. I am kind of more central in my beliefs, but I'm a conservative person. Um, I don't think I don't believe in gender defining who you would vote for. I don't believe being trans should define that. There are a lot of misconceptions. I guess we're going to talk politics first. There's a lot of misconceptions that I think a lot of people in the community have towards conservative people, or your standard Southern Baptist guy that people think is toothless, driving around in a pickup truck with blasting country music. I am a Navy veteran, and I have served with a lot of people from all over the place. I'm just going to tell you right now, my strongest supporters are guys from the South who are conservatives that like to shoot guns and go hunting, and they've got my back. So, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be political people.
Well,
It
because
doesn't.
I think the thing is that people automatically like just assume that those people are gonna kind of be like hateful or like unsupportive of the trans community.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, like that's like not true. I mean, I definitely have some more conservative people in my family as well, but they're totally supportive of me, like they're more on the Republican side, but that doesn't mean that they, don't, respect me or anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and
yeah,
and it
politics
really,
is like I think it's like a really like tricky thing and stuff. I don't know.
yeah. I have a lot of friends that go to church, and you know what? I have people that I played music with in Tennessee and Virginia, and I still talk to these people, and I haven't been abandoned by people who have a true belief in any religion, whether it be organized or more loose, more spiritual. And a lot of, actually, I'm not going to lie, and my mom was afraid of this. My mom is a baby boomer, and she was afraid that her generation was not going to get it. And I was like, I could kind of see that. Now I'm a Gen Xer. My generation, we don't care. We
Yeah,
grew up
honestly, I there's a lot of like a lot of older people and even just older people in my family and stuff just that like I thought were gonna be like way more, I guess I don't want to say like, freaked out, but had like way more of a like strong opinion or would be a lot more like hesitant towards it, more actually like more right up on par with it. They were like cool with it like right away compared to like I don't know, just some friends I feel like I had or even other family members that were kind of just like whoa, like it took them like a long time to.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
Well,
I think we should.
it was okay with my mom's generation, surprisingly, and across the board, just for me, the 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 recurring theme that I've been told, and I'm pretty sure you've heard the same thing, is that people are happy that we're happy.
Yeah.
And the process of transitioning, I guess we can get into that next. This is probably a pretty good segue.
Yeah, because
The
I don't
process
want it to
of
be all about
transitioning is,
politics,
you
but
know, most people that I know, um, I would like to, I think you probably have said the same thing to me at some point. I think a lot of people, they realize it at an early age, and for us, both being male to female, uh, or I think in your case, Alexa, since you're young enough, that I don't really think you really ever reached manhood. It's probably like boy to female for you.
I don't think it did.
Um, yeah, I still got my man card, people. Yes, I can still have a man card because 38 years, that is tenure. Okay, kind of like professors, then they can't get fired. Yeah, if you can't take my man card, not gonna happen. But enough of that. That's a story for another time. But um, a lot of people, they want to play with dolls and they have it figured out.
Mhm.
Um, for me, I liked playing with cars and Hot Wheels and trucks and anything that is stereotypically male. I did, and I liked it. Now I can say that I always felt a little bit off as a kid. I was really quiet. I didn't look at myself as, I should be a girl, and I never had any issues with, what I was born with.
Like your private parts.
Um, so it was like, for me, I almost feel like, oh, and I also kissed a girl when I was 5. So you
So
can
you had
imagine,
your like you definitely had your sexuality.
oh, I knew my
Because
sexuality. Like,
I'm curious to know
yeah,
like
that was, yeah,
I'm curious to
1982.
know
1982 was a fun year.
because
Uh,
I'm curious like besides because like I know people like they'll say to me like oh well, like I knew something was different because you like to play with Barbies or blah 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 or wear dresses and stuff but like it's definitely like more to that to being trans than just like material things and like I'm actually going to use like an example because I had a family member and I'm not disrespecting this family member or whatever and this isn't to judge them at all. I'm just kind of giving like an example. So the actually it was very recent, said to me, well, wouldn't it have just been easier if you stayed a boy and just dressed up as a woman? And
yeah,
like even though
there's
even his wife was like that's not
I
even at all and
I
and I and
remember.
instead of getting fired up I just kind of like you know just was like all right sit down we got to like explain this a little bit because it's not just about material things what we like to wear it's being transgender is not about dressing up. It's not about your sexuality. All of
Yep,
that stuff is different. Things that you like or that you're into,
yep,
that's different. I mean, I will say I think being an only child and like living with my mom a lot, I did have a cousin and he was into a lot of the boy stuff, but I wasn't. I just, I did like playing Barbies and I liked makeup and doing nails. And I think a lot of that is just an influence too, because my mom's a very, very feminine person. My mom always had nice outfits on, always had her hair done, always had her nails done. My aunt's a beautician. So I always remember watching her do her makeup and her hair. So I think a lot of my very feminine qualities just come from a lot of the women in my family that I kind of looked up to. Because as a kid, you look up to those people and stuff. And for me personally, I felt like a woman, like I felt like a little girl. And so I was like, I need to be kind of I like following what my mom is doing. I like, kind of doing those things. I like doing what I see a lot of the other girls do. But yeah, it's totally an internal feeling
no, it
of
is, it
I
is,
am not
it
connected.
is.
Mine's different in that I knew something was wrong with my genitalia. I knew that they didn't look right. Like they looked very like out of place. And I knew that probably at the age of 5, I would say. One of my earliest memories, and like I'm blown away that I still even remember that, but I do. Like I remember very much so going to the bathroom and thinking, why don't I have what my mom has there? And of course I never said anything, but it was hard. Like, why do I have what daddy has? Like I should have what, mommy has down there. And like I'd stuff animals up my belly and my shirt and pretend like I was like pregnant. And, like I always had to like mother all my stuffed
Oh,
animals.
cute.
And
That's cute.
I also, well, for me, I knew my sexuality then too, because I remember like, the other like kids in class, like I wasn't interested in the girls at all. I wanted to hang out and play with the girls, but I knew that for some reason I was crushing on the boys. And so,
Yeah, I was always good with the guys, but I never wanted anything to do with them romantically. But you know, I think that for me, you brought up a good point with your mom being very feminine. My mom, I love her. Mom doesn't even have pierced ears. She's never in makeup. She probably hasn't been in makeup for probably at least 20 years. Um, so my family, the women in my family tend to be very strong. Um, because my family is, all the guys were tradespeople. Um, a lot of military, a lot of trades. I myself was an electrician for the longest time before I went and got my engineering degree. But um, we come from a family where it's just the women are tough, and yeah, this is as girly as it gets in my family. I'm it's it's not a knock on anybody, but I personally don't feel the need to get dialed up a lot. Now, don't get me
yeah,
wrong. I
you
wear
do though.
dresses. Alex can definitely
Yeah,
attest
I
to
was gonna
that.
say, we've definitely gone out before, and you've had on like heels
Oh
and dresses
yeah,
and stuff. I'm just
yeah,
over the top. Like I'm just very, very feminine, very much like a girly girl. I love being
yeah,
dressed up. I like having my nails done. I like being in
yeah.
heels, makeup.
Claws.
Yeah, which I'm getting ready to go into the beauty industry, so I'm hyped.
Which I think is great. I think that's such a good thing. Such a great move.
But
Yeah.
all
So
right, so let's kind of move maybe more into like our, I don't know. Well, I guess I kind of went over like our childhood a little bit. I don't know.
yeah.
Should we talk more about our childhood at all? Like kind of in our like our teens or like
Um, the only thing I can really say is that I'll be dead honest. I didn't want to be a girl.
mm,
Um, I even remember praying to God in my early 20s because we would go to church all the time. Obviously, like any girl in our shoes, yes, I definitely raided mom's closet when nobody was home. Since I was very, 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 very little, apparently it started when I was 3, from what my cousins told me. So yeah, it was just kind of there, and I hated myself for it. I never could. The whole like crossdresser label was just like, ew.
yeah,
Yeah,
same.
yeah. It's like,
But
oh,
there
why am I?
but there was always kind of that like sense of sort of like guilt or like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get caught
Yeah,
kind of doing this. Like I remember sneaking like the nail polish and stuff, and like, obviously they'd smell it and that, but yeah, it's hard because you like you live a double life. And I think that that's interesting that
yeah,
you
yeah,
were praying like, oh my god, please don't let me, like, why do I keep feeling like a woman, let me stop? Because for me,
yeah. And
I
God
wanted
forbid
to
push
keep
mine down.
going with it. I loved feeling like that. I loved that. I wanted to explore that all the time. I used to picture myself like in a dress like all the time. Like I wanted to live as a girl for as long as I can remember. Like it was like it was just like my whole like childhood was just this, because like when I look back now, I was never like abused. I didn't have a bad childhood, but it was just almost like a very like empty time in my life.
Yeah,
Like I feel like you almost just feel like you're kind of just cruising along, and everything is just like a fantasy at that point. You know, everything's
Yeah, looking back on it, yes, yes, yeah. For me, um, it was never anything I wanted anybody to find out. For me, because no, when I was a kid, we didn't talk about people being gay or lesbians. So let alone like anybody that was going to change gender, it was like we didn't know the first damn thing about that.
yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
and
well, even
we
me,
didn't talk
even me at
about stuff.
26, like we never really talked a whole lot about that stuff either. I mean, I grew up in a very like Christian family. Now, we were never like super super like conservative, church going, like I mean, we went to church and stuff, but it just wasn't I the only like exposure I really had to any of that stuff was through TV. Like TLC and stuff, I would see stuff about, you know, gay people or trans people and stuff. And I
Yeah,
was always
or
very interested in
PBS. I remember
it.
watching stuff on PBS.
Yeah, but
For
I just
sure.
never really said anything because I guess I thought like they're never gonna believe me. Like they're never gonna believe me. And not even that, and I don't blame them for being ignorant, but they were ignorant to it. Like they wouldn't have even known, I think, really what the hell I was even talking about. And it's no like shade on them. I truly don't think they would have known because it took me leaving here to go to a city, Philadelphia, to even be exposed face to face with other trans people, with a larger gay community, with just more exposure to those types of things, more demographics of people, and you know, yeah, it just like I basically had to figure it all out on my own. I had to teach myself
Me too.
everything through YouTube. That's I found
Yeah.
started finding a lot of trans YouTubers, and you know, I think what made it really hard was I had to basically teach everyone in my family. Like it just kind of had to be like word of mouth. It just, you know, me being around them was basically what taught them. So yeah, I mean, luckily for, you know, a lot of the younger generations now, it's, you know, and like people like us making videos like this
Yes.
with
Yeah.
like content out there, and even a lot of the other like, you know, YouTube creators and stuff, just even our exposure in like the, you know, the television and the media and stuff, you know, like the younger generations and stuff, I think are going to definitely have an easier time with that. Like it'll,
Yeah.
you know, it's not
They
going to
have
be
the
so much of a,
resources. They really do.
yeah, like
For
people are
me,
definitely getting more exposure to it. They're getting used to the like
yeah, and
vocabulary and stuff a lot more.
just to backtrack real quick, for me and my family, we didn't talk about emotions because we were tradespeople and a lot of us were military. My father was a Marine. His father was a Marine. My mom's dad and grandfather were Navy. I was Navy. And I mean, the expectation, and I grew up just outside of Philadelphia, literally firsthand outside. And the expectation for us growing up as a guy is that number one, you stand up for what you believe in, and you're not supposed to show emotion. We were very old school.
Hmm.
And that I was a very ice cold person who just didn't really show emotion. And then when I went to the military, I got very very good at it. And the biggest thing that I can really say is, it takes a lot to kind of crack the surface. And for me, I was an electrician for years. After I got out of the Navy, I decided to go back to school in 2010 to get my degree. And I was around people 15 years my junior. And I kind of got out of that. I don't want to say like that boxed in thinking with stuff. I started to open up a little bit more and think about stuff. And Alexia mentions YouTube, and I was watching videos of people starting HRT and everything. I'm like, wow. And long story short, in 2015, very very early in 2015, it hit me like a ton of books or something. And I realized why I was so unhappy after being so successful, in school and knowing I was going to graduate in a couple months and, start my engineering career, which I was thinking was going to be really, really cool. And spoiler alert, yes, it has been. Uh, and
I
it,
have a question for you though.
okay, yeah, yeah, go for it.
So, because so I'll explain like, my side of the story here in a minute, or like, a little bit of my journey, but I just want to know like, so like what made you kind of like it was family that kind of made you go into like the military, right? Like just because you had so many family members that were in it. But
Um,
like did you personally, because you didn't really, I don't want to say that you didn't like or that you were scared of being trans, but it was that you just didn't really want to be, like did you ever feel like you were kind of like either hyper masculinizing yourself,
no,
kind of
not
putting
at all.
yourself in like a male
Yes,
dominant
not at all.
type?
Okay,
I'm just
yeah.
curious.
So
I
I
think
went into the
dissect.
military because of 9/11. Straight up. I went into, 9/11 happened and I was delayed it, enlisted 1 month after. Um, that was a very quick conversation with my dad.
Okay.
And I also knew that I could further my career by picking up a trade, and I had an idea for what I wanted to do. I ended up getting the top trade the Navy can offer in the nuclear world, where I have met some really kick-ass people, and it's totally made me. I got totally remade, assimilated, as I like to put it, because I'm a Star Trek fan. But I never did anything to be hypo, whatever word it is. I'm an engineer, not an English major. Uh, I never had to try being a guy. Never. I was a guy. I liked being a guy, and I didn't want anything to do with the whole cross dressing thing made me sick. I'm not gonna lie. I hated myself for every second of it,
Yep.
and you know, I certainly did not want to be. I didn't want to be a woman. I definitely, this was not in the cards. Um, when I did figure it out, it was one hell of a shock, even for me. I'm like, holy crap, really? My reaction, I remember, I was off campus at Widener where I went to school, and I looked skyward, and I'm basically like, God, really? I mean, I just battled 5 years, got my degree, and now I gotta like grow long hair and like learn how to be a woman. I'm like, oh my God, seriously. I fought it for a long time. I repressed it. I once I figured it out, I could go back to a lot of my past and figure out where it was
Hmm.
where it almost came out to the surface, and it actually kind of did come out to the surface when I was 25. No, actually, no, I was 27. 27. I was still in the Navy, and I think I said it to somebody point blank, and I just, you
It's
know,
hard to keep it
it was,
bottled up.
yeah, and then I pushed it right back down again, and when I wasn't, when I wasn't working or at the ship, I was probably getting drunk, which is a common theme for people, on the trans side of things. But I I I completely never saw it coming because I didn't
Wow.
exhibit those female things that you and a lot of other people knew.
Yeah,
And
see, for me, it was totally different.
yeah, but
So,
yeah, I once I realized that, and how I realized this, yes, I had started acquiring clothing again in like 2013, 2014. So then I realized that I felt normal in
mhm.
this attire, and
Well, because like it's more than just dressing up. Like there's
wasn't
a lot more
was
to it.
just
There's
who you
our hormones and the legal stuff, and those are things that people don't think about. You know, like it's yeah, like it. Okay, yeah, you can put on girl clothes, but like it's way
yeah,
more. It's way more than that.
it is, and really the biggest thing for me, um, I would say would be I came out in late March of 2015. I didn't decide to transition until late June of 2015. And I actually didn't start HRT until, late September of that year. Now,
Because I came out that year too. Like I remember starting that school year, September 2015.
yeah, yeah.
I
And for
started
me,
wearing a bra and I wanted to go by she and stuff, but I wasn't really.
I wasn't. I was going back and forth, but I didn't know if, at the time I didn't know where I stood on the spectrum. Because there was a lot of being a guy that I liked and I still like, I'm not gonna lie.
See, for
Um,
me, yeah.
but what it was for me was my closest friends got to see me on this side. I road tested it. It's like you're gonna buy a new car. Well, if you're gonna switch genders, you better road test it. If you just think, oh, like presto, here we are. No, don't
It
don't be Caitlyn Jenner. Do not come out in lingerie on a major magazine cover. Never, ever, ever do that. Okay, everybody listening, do not do that. Okay.
well, I'm gonna be on a magazine cover one day, so what are you talking about?
When she came out on Vanity Fair,
Oh yeah, when it was all of a sudden
yeah,
it's
and
like,
she
where
said she
the
didn't want it.
have you
And
been?
then like shortly thereafter, she's like, "Oh, I don't want to be in a bathing suit." Blah blah blah. I was like, "You came out in lingerie, you stupid hoe."
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I just said hoe. Yeah, I went there.
Yeah,
I want to back that
I don't
truck
know.
up.
Well, I guess some people transition a lot more quietly and like some people don't. For a while I wasn't as quiet, but all right, well, it's my turn now to tell my side of the story,
But
if you don't mind.
but at any rate, yeah, my friends told me that they're like almost like awestruck. They're like, "Oh my god!" You're like you've just it's different. You're like relaxed and you just look so comfortable with yourself and I'm like,
I got a lot of that too.
okay, yeah. But you know what the reality was is that I was and I felt I used to feel awkward all the time looking in the mirror as a guy.
Because you're not yourself for like years.
Right. And I just never could put two and two together that, but the message that I give is that, you can be a woman, you can be a trans woman. It's okay to like guy stuff. I know a lot of girls that are, born female that like the guy stuff. Including a couple friends of mine that are engineers. That's just, hey, I'm an engineer, like I'm a tradesperson, like that's my brain.
Yeah, because like
You
women
know,
can do
it doesn't
anything.
matter if you're male or female
Yeah.
in that. Now, I go through shit I went through shit, I should say, my old job with, the being a girl, but my current job, it's night and day different. The respect just flows, and it's really good. But
Yeah.
once I'll tell you though, once I realized it, then it all, it all made sense.
It is
So
crazy
all the
how
funny
like
for me
some
is
people do
I
kind
like
of
being a
respect
girl.
you a little bit more, you know.
But I'm a tomboy, and I'm still kind of like one of the guys, and I still bust their stones as if I was still a guy. And you know what? They respect that. All the guys in the trade shops in my old job, they respected that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you can be trans, and people can actually love you.
It's true.
Don't believe
Yeah,
the
you're
hype.
not unworthy of love from anyone, dating wise or anything, just because you're trans. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, for me, it's a lot of like really, I think what's common between us is just the fact that like we're women. We were born in a male body. Because for me, like I always wanted to like have this body. Like I've always wanted to live this way, to identify this way, to be addressed this way. And I've known since I was young. So it wasn't
Mhm.
necessarily like a shock for me when I figured it out, but it was kind of like a wow, like this is kind of what it all means. This is like wow, like this information actually exists. These people, like, they're really out there. Like this really is like I guess it was more that my thoughts and my feelings were what's the word that I'm looking for? We're kind of like it made sense. Like
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
truth behind it. It wasn't just a like, like I was just stuck in my own head. Like it was a thing. I could actually, take medicine, take the right medication.
Yeah.
There's a legal process. There's, support groups, and, there's medicine, there's surgeries, there's things that I can do to like it actually came to life, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
because I was around like 20, 21, I think, when I actually started. I mean, for years, like most of college, so most of like 2013, like once I got to college, that's when I started like doing makeup and like wearing women's clothing. And I actually was hanging out with I had a lot of like gay friends at the time who were, they did drag and stuff. And I thought, well, I love makeup and I'm very like feminine. Like maybe this is just what it is, because I actually lived as a gay male for a while. Like I lived in that sort of like identity realm for a while, as many trans women do.
Strike me as that, I think some of us, I think that, because I see it, I've always seen it in you, but, my friends will say it for me. It's like, we're women and we're not trying.
Yeah.
We don't have to try to be who we are, because
Yeah.
we are who we are. Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Because I hate when people try to do the whole like,
doesn't have to be made up, because most of the time, anybody that watches my channel regularly knows that I typically am not in makeup for 99% of my videos. So this is a rarity, but I do it on occasion.
yeah, you do.
I have to prove it. Yes, I am a girl and I do girl things.
But yeah, like I just for me it was like a lot of it like just wasn't feeling right, like trying,
Yeah.
because I thought, well, maybe I don't, like I knew that I had liked guys, and so I just thought that I was like a very like feminine guy. But like, I did have a boyfriend at one point in high school, and it felt right being with a guy, but it just, something about the dynamic of the relationship, something within myself just still didn't feel right and connected. And once I got to college, and I had a lot more of like a gay male like group of friends, and started watching more like YouTube videos, because at that time I started watching a lot of, you know drag queens and a lot of like makeup gurus, and I started finding a lot of trans women and stuff, and I realized like, wow, this is like all different, like these are all different things. And
Yeah.
like I started realizing, wow, I'm like really connecting with these trans women. Like I don't really, like, yeah, no, I don't feel like a guy at all. And like I hate like dressing up in this over exaggerated makeup. Now, you don't need to be a gay male to be a drag queen, but for
No,
me, I
it's
think for me
rare, but
it was more of the process of like dressing up and like pulling off that imitation like entertainment type thing, that for me I was
yeah.
like I feel more myself when I'm doing it because like I want to, when I'm not doing it in like an entertainment type form, I guess. And yeah, so I just did a lot
I
of
would
research, and I just
because you're
realized
a girl,
like
so
it was just like a holy shit moment of like, wow, like I'm watching these women go on HRT, and some of them want surgeries and stuff, and I was just like, wow, like just even the way they speak and the way that they're feeling and their minds working, I was like,
mm,
wow, that's it. Like
yeah, that's
that's,
surgery. That is like
so I
I
just had some roommates. They were like, good friends at the time. And they were like, look, like, if you feel that way, like, if you want to go by a different name, if you want us to go by female pronouns, let's try it out and see how you feel. And I just kind of never looked back after that. And I just,
yeah.
as of 2015, I was like, it's when I came out to my family, and, like publicly, and like in school. And for a while I was very open about it. um, Started transitioning, started on hormones in 2016, It's when I met you, and then I actually went through a period of time where I got very like
Oh,
private about it. Like I was almost, I'm
so
not gonna lie, I went through a period of transphobia. I went through a period where I was hating the fact that, or maybe I shouldn't say hate, but I was really unhappy and uncomfortable with the fact that like I like was born this way, and that like for me, in order for me to be happy, this is what I have to do. And of course people are going to try to say, well, you
yeah,
have to if you don't want to make that decision. But it's either go through all of this struggle and this pain to feel like myself, to have a sex drive that feels like mine, to be able to look in the mirror and see a body that's mine, and just all of that, rather than to not have any of it all, to not have any of this at all, to just not have the hormones and the name change, and just even those like little things like having that F on your legal documents and things like that, and just to even know you're on estrogen, like things like that just make me feel so happy. Like I feel it was like a cloud
oh,
literally
yes,
like
yes,
gone. And that's what's hard to explain to people, because they're always like, well, well, why would you want to go like through all of that? Because I'm happier. Yeah, it's a struggle, and I wouldn't wish this upon anyone, but damn it, it has made me a strong ass person. I
yeah. You
feel
have to
like
be. I
I'm
already
so
was
much
strong,
more
but you have to
confident.
be.
I'm so much more confident in myself and what I do, what I create. I just feel so like authentic and real, and it's helped me to grow and to just be a better person. I feel like I have better relationships with people, with even with my family and with myself. Like, and it's hard because and I can't speak for all trans people, but like a lot of times you do go through a period where you like, and I think the media today is just really hard on people. Like there's just so many expectations and what
I think they suck.
us
I'm not
trans
gonna lie.
women
I
need.
don't do anything with the media.
Yeah, it's I think it's really, really bad. And I I could call myself a hypocrite because I went through a period like that. Oh, I need to have big boobs. I have to get big fake boobs. Oh, I have to have big wide hips. I have to have the tiniest waist ever. And
Oof.
it's not even about that shit at
And,
all.
and how many times did I tell you that back in the day? And you finally you've come to
Yeah.
understand it. Well, I guess we can talk about surgery real quick, and then we can talk about just basic HRT, and then we can kind of touch on the I guess the last point. We'll just talk about
Mhm. This video is going
sexuality.
to be long, but I don't care. It's kind of like a podcast thing, whatever. I love it, whatever.
Oh yeah.
If
So
you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it and I thank you. And if you like
congratulations. There
this
could be a
kind of
prize
content,
awaiting you at the end of the video, and we got to come up with a prize now. Shit.
if you like this kind of content, like please let me know, because honestly, I'm really enjoying this. I love this type of talk and discussion because it just feels so natural. It's not as like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
Straight up. But
and you know what? I'm an open book, and the reason being is because if you're watching this and you already are transgender and you've come out and in wherever you are in the process, or maybe you're questioning it, um, a lot of people don't like to talk about it. They want to live life as if nobody knows, and that's fine.
living stealth.
But
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
yeah, but people want to know. This is new for everybody.
Yeah.
So I transitioned. Everybody did it with me because nobody. I'm the only trans person I knew at the time. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, there were a few in college, but even for me, like going to an art school in the city, there were not that many trans people.
right? And
Just
we had a lot of resources in the city, but we both started at Mazzoni for our HRT, but
which
you know,
Mizone
you
is
don't,
a great
there
center, by the
there
way.
wasn't
If
there was not support groups for adults who were in their 30s who didn't have an addiction problem or anything. It's like, oh, it's only for like people who are like up to age like 25, or you have a addiction with this or that. And I'm like, thanks for nothing. So I had to figure it out. I watched videos, I talked to people, and I kind of got a feel for it. But my support group were my friends, and
Mhm.
as for what was my who did I look to for guidance? Well, being that I was transitioning, starting in my late 30s, I mean, a lot of the girls I went to high school with, that were my age or a little bit older, a little bit younger. So all the girls that are like that are now 40 something, I looked at them and like, okay, well, what do we do? And well, we just do whatever the hell we want. Which I'm like, that's easy. So HRT in a nutshell, I've made a video about this. I don't know, Alexa, I think you have too.
Yeah, I made one. Yes, I think it's one of my first videos.
I
I
think you
definitely want to
have,
make like a new one and kind of like explain it a little bit more because I've actually had a lot of issues with like my
yeah.
hormones going up and down.
So what it comes down to is basically HRT is a crapshoot. So we have different body shapes. I mean, Alexa is very petite, and Alexa's really not that tall. You're like, how tall are you, girl?
5'4",
Yeah, that is
five
unheard
four,
of.
and I'm like 103 pounds.
I know. Shit, that's unheard of. 5'4". I'm 5'6". And even that, I mean, so I made a point. It's like, look, if you're like 6 foot or taller, it's going to be different. But there's a lot of masculinity that I don't think she ever had. Alexa, no.
Hmm.
To
I
me, you came
didn't.
out of the womb like that. You didn't look like before. And yes, you've shown me a picture, but I'm thinking, yeah, I think she photoshopped that shit.
I mean, I think if I would have spent more time with my dad growing up, maybe I would have been into like different things, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it
You,
just
you could
honestly,
you
a
could
lot of this
be
always came very like
yeah.
natural, and I just have always kind of
Yeah,
felt this
you could have
way.
been a gay and still being a manly man but just been gay. I mean, there's plenty. You
Yeah,
don't
but
have
I
to
just
be
like
like,
wasn't gay. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow, like I really am like a woman.
Surgery for me is no. No. I I no. I don't want to do it. I don't need to do it. Um
And we're talking about
and
plastic surgery, by the way.
one of the
That's
first
where
things that one of the first things that I said, when I realized I was going to do it, I looked down, I'm like, you're safe. Nothing's going to happen to you, okay? Like you're cool. We're cool.
and I was like, bye, you getting chopped,
Yeah.
getting whipped and dipped, chopped, tucked, you're getting nipped and tucked, girl.
Yeah,
Bye.
invert it.
Burn it, whatever you gotta do.
And and I don't need any other surgery because one of the biggest questions I get asked is, yes, I am. They're real.
Her
I
boobs are
have
real. It's criminal. Like
I
I
have 38 C breasts, just like my
definitely a
mom.
little salty over here. I'm not
So
gonna
my
lie.
mom said she was a B cup before she was pregnant. So bigger, not pregnant ever, can't get pregnant.
Yeah, no.
So
All the women in my family, whoop, small titties. All right, so yeah, this video is super long, but I hope that you all liked it, my lovelies and Joanna's subscribers. I think this was like a really cool video. At least it is for me because we love to talk and we love to kind of discuss it, and there's so much to talk about. And honestly, I think we need to name this like a series. So like maybe we'll call it like the J Girl series or something like that. I don't know. It needs to be like a series, but we're gonna try to do more content for you guys, just going a little bit more in depth with like the surgery thing because there's like a lot more I feel like to it.
yeah,
And we also want to do a dating video for you guys because
yes,
I
because
like men, I'm straight, and she's a lesbian. So
yeah, and I have a
but,
lot of things I can say about that.
yeah, we both do. But if you
Get
have
in for the next when we talk about that.
yeah. Well, anyway, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for your love and for your support. I might do an outro. I might just do it right here because I think that her crew could use this advice too. Stay fearless, take a chance because you never know where you will be guided. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.